The planet is restless, Captain. They want their podcast. And they shall have it. I'll beam down to the surface. You have the bridge. Captain, that is illogical. These are Trek fans. They will challenge and dissect your knowledge with great emotion. It is a mission fraught with danger, peril, and grave risk. Suggestions? Send in the red shirts.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I just have one word. Hallelujah. Yes.
Hallelujah?
Was it that again, Big Sexy?
Hallelujah?
Oh, you've been watching Medea, have you? I love that laugh, but it always pegs my needles. But, yes, people, this is Captain Q Storm, and I actually have a smile on my face. Does anyone know why I have a smile on my face? Would you care to guess?
Well, could be that
was good.
The Cowboys won yesterday. Actually, I take that back. The Colts won yesterday.
Okay, that's one thing. I was in 10-4 watching the game, right? And the Colts did win. But that's not the only reason I'm happy. Craig, would you care to take a shot?
Well, because finally there was a short track that was actually good.
And what does he win, Johnny? Yes. We finally got a short track that I actually, dare I say it, enjoyed. It was funny. It was well acted. Well, they're all well acted. But I was engaged with the story. I liked it. Hey, Mikey. My name is Mike, so. But okay, so I kind of spoiled a little bit about my take on this. Let's go around the horn real quick. Well, wait a minute. You know, I should ask first. Did all of us see it?
One of us didn't.
Really? We're doing this?
Yeah, so Big Sexy, you're still not doing the CBS All Access, man?
Hold it. I have done the CBS All Access, but again, the whole premise of All Access means when you go to CBS,
you actually have all access.
You have all access to their treasure trove of shows. Just the other day, I was listening to a podcast about Newhart and the finale, and I thought, hey, I've never seen that. It should be on CBS All Access. Oh yeah, it's not.
Yeah, damn, he's making a strong case. You're making a strong case, but listen, as a Star Trek fan, you should be paying the $6 a month to see Star Trek.
I'm paying Netflix to get all the classic shows that you can't get on CBS All Access. Or are they all over there now?
But it's Star Trek.
Are they all over at CBS Access?
What, Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Everything.
Yeah. Except for I don't know if they have the animated series.
I have the DVD, so that's cool.
But I know that they have all of these Star Trek live action shows. The only problem is that the captioning is for But, you know, are you going to get CBS All Access to watch Star Trek Discovery? Wow.
Do you want me to answer that question?
Wow.
Put it this way.
Wait, hold on. I know. Is Sal going to start making Uncharted deliveries again? Stuff falling out the back of the truck? Yeah. Okay.
I have no comment.
All right. I won't be... Yeah, if the FBI is listening, just erase that whole part. Okay, anyway. Well, Craig, give us your thoughts on the latest Star Trek short trek. It was called The Escape Artist.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. It was the best one, in my opinion. And it was just a fun little episode that may or may not tie into canon. It doesn't really matter. It was just something out of band. It was with Harry Mudd, and it was in the same spirit of The Trouble with Tribbles, which also was with Harry Mudd. And if you remember, The Trouble with Tribbles was quite a funny episode, and also included cloning to a point. Right, the Tribbles would clone themselves. And so Mudd made clones, android clones of himself to make money another way. And it was just well acted, and the payoff at the end where they showed the androids was something I wasn't expecting until I saw it. And in fact, I was thinking when they said, look at all these androids, that they had the real Harry Mudd, and then of course they pulled his arm off and it was another copy. So it was a funny episode, but well acted. Rainn Wilson was great, and he also directed it, which is interesting. It was a good comedic episode.
So do you think Jippers on a Beach will become a meme for Star Trek fans?
It could be. I never looked up what that is, if it's a real thing. What is the actual stuff they're putting in there? And he looked that up.
So basically, the episode was about, we open up on Harry Mudd being held captive on a Tellurite ship, and it's clear that he's being handed over to Starfleet, and he does everything to negotiate his way out of the mess, and the Tellurite is not having it, and we see flashbacks of Harry Mudd and other similar scrapes where he uses the same methods to try to get out of his predicament. And at the and let me back up, and I am spoiling it. At the beginning of the episode, we see what looks like a Star Wars character. It reminded me of the character that Princess Leia masquerades as when she enters Jabba's palace, and the language, the alien language, sounded just like that character as well. But we see this character delivering Harry Mudd to the Tellurite ship. Then we see Harry Mudd begging for freedom or whatever. And then he gets transported over to a Starfleet vessel. The Tellurite was to deliver Mudd to Starfleet. And as they're walking Mudd to the brig, or what we think is the brig, the Starfleet officer says, this is not really Harcourt Fenton Mudd you have here. And the Tellurite's like, what are you talking about? And it's revealed when the door to the brig opens that there are tons of Harry Mudd replicants that have been purchased or that have been picked up by bounty hunters for a price and delivered to Starfleet. So we find out that this version of Mudd that we've spent the whole episode listening to is also a replicant. And then we dissolve to another ship or someplace where the bounty hunter that we saw at the beginning is actually revealed to be the real Harcourt Fenton Mudd. And, what's funny is, I wonder if they were doing a nod to Star Wars, because in Return of the Jedi, we saw Princess Leia put on a similar outfit. And so she's a woman masquerading as a man. And now we see Mudd put on a similar outfit and sound very similar to that character in Return of the Jedi, and he's a man masquerading as a woman. And I assume it's a woman because we see breastplates and there's long hair. Well, you think there's anything to that, Craig?
Possibly, yeah. It's might be a nod to it. I didn't pick up on it, by the way. I just thought he was dressing up as some weird female alien. But I need to go back and compare the pictures.
Or maybe I'm reading more into it. But I got to tell you, I feel like there's a reason that they put this one last, because typically I would think that if you're doing an episode, well, I guess that's not true. The Calypso episode had nothing to do with a Star Trek lead cast member. I was going to say that they put this one last because it didn't involve a lead cast member. But Calypso did. But I think they put this last because they knew it was the best one. The payoff worked for me. I was thrilled at the payoff. I just thought the script was good. It was clever. And I got to tell you, I wasn't a big fan of Rainn Wilson on the American Office, the comedy, The Office. Mm-hmm. First off, let me just say, I think the Office comedy, the American version, sucked. And
I agree.
It doesn't come anywhere close to the Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant version.
Absolutely agree.
Overrated.
100% agree. British version, much, much better.
Right. So I wasn't a big fan of his based on that series, but I'm a huge fan of his now. Well, I liked him. He did he had a role in Well, the Megalodon, the Meg, with Jason
what?
Statham. Yes, I went to go see that because my son wanted to see it, and he was good in that. But I gotta tell you now, Big Sexy, I know you are not a fan of them bringing back Mud. Is that still the case?
Well, it's not a question of bringing back Mud. It's a question of getting the character right.
Mm-hmm.
When
Okay,
I think
all right.
Harry Mudd, I think Roger C. Carmel. He was great at it.
Uh-huh.
And before Roger was the chubby guy with the tribbles. But when I think Mud, I think the one with all the little, androids running around and the ex-wife, Harcourt, what did I tell you? With Harry Mudd, with, again, Roger C. Carmel playing that. And I don't get that from Rainn Wilson. I didn't get that at all. I got more of a criminal vibe as opposed to, and I hate to say this, as opposed to more of a grifter, charming rogue vibe.
Well, isn't a grifter kind of a criminal, though?
Yeah, grifter's the wrong word, but like charming rogue, like pickpocket, that's perfect analogy. The Roger C. Carmel Mud would pick your pocket. The Rainn Wilson one will just shoot you and take it.
Well, let me ask you: are you suggesting? And I'm apologizing because I should know this. Are you saying that there was more than one actor to play Mud in the original series?
Yeah.
Ready?
I don't.
Oh God,
know.
you guys!
Same guy.
Reduction in rank for both of you.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Oh,
If I'm
man.
wrong, I will bite the bullet. But I don't.
Start biting, bud.
I remember watching both those episodes.
The fat guy with the tribbles one is not Roger C. Carmel. And Roger C. Carmel was in Mud's Women, and he was also in the one with all the replicants, or all the androids.
Okay.
You guys.
We're gonna go to
yourself
Memory Alpha Wiki.
I'm giving you the gas face over the phone right now, or over the internet right now.
Okay, I'm looking up the Craig. You disagree as well, right?
Yeah, he was only in 2 episodes. I thought it was the same actor.
He was in 3 episodes.
3 episodes. Okay.
There were 3 Mud episodes. Again, you guys, come on.
Hardcore Fenton Mud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking on MemoryAlphaWikia.com. Okay.
I'll take my promotion to Commander now.
Let's see if it says who portrayed him.
You may call me number 1.
It only shows Roger C. Carmel. That's the only person they show.
Now go to the Tribbles episode and see who played him there.
Same guy, surely?
Ooh, no.
I think so.
Care to make it interesting?
Okay, right. So let's see. It's Mud's Woman, I'm Mud, and the Trouble with Tribbles, right?
Trouble with Tribbles is not Roger C. Carmel.
Okay, you got to hear. We're gonna have breaking news here. Okay, Craig, we can't let him show us up like this.
That ship has already sailed.
Let's see. I'm on Wikipedia. I don't see anything.
The funny thing is the site Fandom only shows 2 episodes, and Trouble with Tribbles is not even mentioned. How can a Star Trek fan site not have Trouble with Tribbles?
Wait a
Listen
minute.
to Q-Storm.
Wait a minute. Okay. I don't see. I'm on Wikipedia, the official Wikipedia. I don't see Mud even mentioned here. I don't think he's even in that episode, is he?
What, the Trouble with Tribbles?
Yeah.
You're joking. Who do you think brought them on the ship, man?
Yeah, he's the one who did it.
Oh, dude. And you call yourself a captain?
Unless we are all experiencing one of those, the dude acted in a movie called Shazam, and that movie never existed. That whole thing.
Well, how come they don't mention Mud in the plot here?
I believe we're going to have one of these inquiries like on the Christopher Pike episode.
All right, listen.
You ain't even close, man.
If this is what the episodes this show's going to be about, proving you wrong or us wrong, then so
I'm not
be it.
wrong.
All right, hang on a second. Okay, Harcourt Fenton Mud. All right. See, I can't
straighten
find
you out right now.
I can't find anything that associates him with Trouble with Tribbles. But I thought he was on an episode.
He brought them on the ship.
The funny thing is that on Wikipedia it shows that it's not Harry Mudd, it's somebody called Cyrano Jones.
Cyrano Jones. You're right.
So it's not Harry Mudd,
It's
but I
not
always
Harry
thought it
Mudd.
was
It's
Harry
Cyrano
Mudd.
Jones. You're right.
Excuse what? Wait a minute.
That's right. I
Wait a
stand
minute,
corrected. I'll go back to waste extraction.
dude.
That's the inquiry.
But why do all of us think Harry Mudd was in the Trouble with Tribbles?
Listen, but you know what? See, that's why I need to stick by my guns. That's why I got the captain's rank. Because I made that mistake on a previous episode of Red Shirts. I said that Mudd was on the Trouble with Tribbles, and one of you corrected me. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. He wasn't on that episode. Big Sexy. What was the name of that scow or that barge that that was leaking radiation? And was that Voyager? I think it was. It was Voyager. No, it was DS9. What we're going to do is we're going to have an exchange program, like Riker did with the Klingon ship. Only we're going to put you with the Packlets.
Oh no! Oh, not those guys. You will make us strong.
All right, listen. Big Sexy, you're beating yourself up more than I ever could, so we're just going to move on.
If Harry Mudd wasn't in that episode, we're going to have to, retract the statement that I made.
What was the statement you made?
Well, I said Harry Mudd was on there, right?
Oh, well, so did Big Sexy, but yeah.
That was Cyrano Jones. God damn it!
But you know what? The reason I'm not going to clown too much is because I always get confused too. For some reason, I always think in the back of my mind that he was on that episode too.
Hold on, we probably should dig into it. If I remember correctly, it did turn out that he was Harry Mudd, but he was using another name or something like that, wasn't he? Isn't that the deal?
With the Troubles with Tribble episode?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's been so long since I've seen the episode. I'm not going to even take a guess. But what it was isn't this the character that they held a Tribble up to him, and the Tribble started chirping, and so turned. It turns out he was not. He was a different.
He was a Klingon. Yeah.
Right. So that was his surprise or the twist, wasn't it? Not that he was actually Harry Mudd.
He wasn't Harry Mudd. He was
right.
Barney who ran the station, but was really a Klingon in disguise.
Right. Yeah. All right. So people, listen. We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna get on our positronic matrices and just download all of these episodes again, so that we can be legitimate Star Trek fans. Okay.
Wow.
So we're both gonna. You know what? We're the Three Musketeers. When one of us trips up, we all trip up. But damn, Big Sexy, you made us trip up big time. Anyway.
Move right along here.
All right. So the point I was bringing up was, I know you were not that. You make an excellent, legitimate point. I completely respect what you said. It's not. I believe you were saying that it's not that Harry Mudd reappears in these new Treks, but you don't like his characterization. Is that correct?
Exactly.
I can respect that. I don't have a problem with it personally, but I can respect what you're saying. I like the fact that this Mudd is kind of like a devious Lex Luthor type, because it makes him more interesting. Because I'll tell you, I never was that big of a fan of the Mudd from the original series. I just saw him as like a... You know who I saw him as? Big Sexy, you could appreciate this. Which of the... in the Thor comic book, the Warriors 3... Volstagg. That's who I always saw him as. And just like comic relief. So this one...
Well, that's what he is.
I know.
That's what he is.
But in this iteration of Mudd, he has a little bit more bite to him. So that makes him a little more substantial. I'm loving it. And I don't know if I already said this when we took our little detour, but it makes me appreciate Rainn Wilson even more as an actor. I mean, I really want to see him on the ship more often, because he's that dude to me. He was just running game and, had little one-liners and stuff like that. I really did enjoy this episode. I was not expecting to. But here are a couple things that I wanted to point out, get your guys' opinion on, or at least Craig's opinion. What did you think about the music like in the opening in particular, when they're playing the kind of the slower version of the Discovery theme, and then it goes into this weird like disco music.
Oh yeah, I liked it. It was different. I don't think they did it for the other ones, so
No,
it was cool.
I thought the music was a little off-putting because they chose a weird music cue when they opened the door to the brig and they show, I don't know if it was the brig or a storage container, but when they show all of the other muds, they start playing this jazzy disco music, and I'm like, is that the music that it didn't seem to fit? Another thing that I was curious about was I didn't get why Mudd. I know he was probably acting, but the Tellarites have been involved with the Federation since the series Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
So when Mudd is like, "Oh, please don't hand me over to Starfleet. They'll skin me from my bones and this and that." Okay, why is the Tellarite buying that? Or why is that in the script? Because clearly it's not true, and the Tellarite they know that the Federation doesn't operate like that. So why? That didn't make any sense to me.
Well, the Tellarite didn't buy it. That's the thing. And I think it sort of revealed that obviously Mudd programmed his androids with some limited negotiating tactics, and that was one of them. And he tried to use it, and it didn't work.
But it just seems like Mudd would know that the Tellarite is, since they are members of the Federation, I believe, that would be stupid to program the robot to say that because it's patently untrue.
Mm.
You know.
My take on it simply is that he made all of these copies, and they probably all had the same programming or similar programming. They could do limited things on their own, and so he just put them out there because obviously he was the one who went and said, "Hey, I've captured Harry Mudd, and I'll take this much for him," kind of thing.
No, I get it. I just that line, him being so afraid to be turned over to Starfleet. That when I first saw it, I watched it when it first came out on Thursday, was it?
Yeah.
And then I watched it just now before the show. That line, it just didn't. It seemed weird, and I guess when I first saw it, it kind of gave me a hint that there was something amiss. But it was still a weird line. But okay. Well, let me ask you this, Craig. I thought the flashbacks that were in this episode, like there's one flashback where he's on a Klingon ship. I think those were Klingons, and he gets smashed in the face. I love he says, "Oh, please, not the face." And then you hear the thud. Because he's talking bad. He's like, it's a good thing I'm in these cuffs because if I weren't, I would rend you from neck to toes or whatever he says. And then the Klingon walks over. "Oh, please, not the face." And then there was one with I thought that was a little Klingon kid. I'm not really sure. See, this is why the Klingons need to look like Klingons. Because I wasn't sure if that little kid was a Klingon or not. And then there was one with a fine, big sexy, I think she was, what's that alien race called? The Orions?
Was she green?
Yeah.
She was Orion.
Ooh. I'm not mad at Captain Kirk. But he was being suspended Game of Thrones style in a holding cell with a Orion woman. By the way, Big Sexy, you should see this. And there's no way that anyone can't tell me that they could not do a She-Hulk movie. No way. Anyway, so I just thought those flashbacks, once they established that he, the purpose of the flashback were to say that he was in very similar situations and he was using the same language.
Yeah.
So I think once they did that, they should have just flashed us back to the present. I thought the flashbacks went on a little bit too long. What'd you think?
Mm. No, I didn't agree. I liked them. They were good. They were funny as well too. They were all funny. I think what happened to us earlier in the episode is that we experienced the phenomenon where some people think that Sinbad acted in a movie called Shazam, and we thought that Harry Mudd was in Trouble with Tribbles.
Wait, say that again? I'm sorry.
Apparently, we were wrong about that.
Say that again? Sinbad and what?
Don't you know the whole thing where like a ton of people think that Sinbad was in a movie called Shazam.
Sinbad the comedian
Yeah,
in a movie.
there's a whole thing about it, and people had to basically eventually come up and say there was never a movie called Shazam. It's just one of these weird things where people thought that Sinbad was in Shazam. So we experienced the same problem here, right? We experienced that with Harry Mudd. Harry Mudd was never in The Trouble with Tribbles. I don't know why I thought that. The character was Cyrano Jones. He was the guy selling the Tribbles. But interestingly enough, in the previous episodes where Harry Mudd did actually appear, he did make androids, so that ties in quite nicely.
I'm not familiar with this Shazam urban legend.
Yeah, it's big.
Is it like Shazam the superhero? Shazam?
There is no superhero called Shazam, I don't think.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
There is?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Well, Craig's not a comic book guy.
Oh, okay, well, never mind.
No, there is a superhero called. Well, he used to be called Captain Marvel. Now he's called Shazam.
Oh.
You know Shazam. There's no way. Little Billy Batson, he would say Shazam and turn into Captain Marvel.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you've heard of that character. I thought that's what you were talking about. I do seem to remember there was maybe Shazam like a genie type of thing.
That was shit. Oh, yeah. Well, there's two. There's one. I can't believe I'm going to say this. There's a cartoon.
Shaquille O'Neal. Was that one of
Shaq. And that was Kazam.
Kazam, yes.
And there's a Shazam cartoon genie.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Okay.
It was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
I'm not familiar with that whole thing, Craig. When did that go? When was that, around the 70s or 80s?
Mark, haven't you heard of that thing where people think that Sinbad was in Shazam? You have to look it up.
No, because
it's an urban legend that like places like Snopes had to actually debunk because people believe it.
You know what's funny? I'm surprised anyone even remembers who Sinbad is.
Wow.
Hey now.
After A Different World went off the air, I'm like, where's my man at? But okay, I had to look that up. No, I thought the flashbacks were a little long. They overstayed their welcome. I mean, they weren't bad, but I was so interested in what was going on the ship with the Tellarite. I was like, oh, let's cut back to that. That's where the money is, right? Now, here's one thing I noticed. The supervising associate producer on this, her name was Dana M. Wilson. And as Craig pointed out, this is another reason I'm a new fan of Rainn Wilson. He directed this episode, like you said. It's my favorite one. I wonder if there's a little bit of nepotism going on behind the scenes.
Well, Wilson's a pretty common name, man.
Okay, I'm just trying to make content for the show.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just trying to come up with stuff for us to talk about. Damn. Okay. Yes, you're right. It's a common name. All right. So, so that, I'm happy to say I liked it. Big Sexy, I highly recommend that you check it out. Now, we have all four of these, right? Now, Craig, can you rank from best to worst? And we kind of touched on this in the last episode, but now that we have all four, how do you rank them?
This one was the best one, the last one. And I would say the worst one was the first one with they capture the alien.
Right.
And like somehow nobody knew it was on the ship and all that stuff.
So okay.
Then Calypso probably comes third, and then the one with Saru comes second.
So you're going the Brightest Star. I'm sorry, you're going the Escape Artist is best, Brightest Star after that, Calypso after that, and then the Runaway last.
Yes.
If you interchange Calypso and the Runaway, then that's what I've got. I've got the Escape Artist first, Brightest Star second, Runaway third, and Calypso last. Now, Big Sexy, how many have you seen?
I saw the one where the guy was on the ship and the ship was talking to him the whole time.
That's the only one you saw?
That's the only one I saw.
You got to have a conversation with Sal, man. You got to talk to Sal. Get him to pack that truck up, dude. Come on.
You keep telling me, before this one, the other three were, not that good.
Well, you might like them, I like the way you like what I say. You might like them. Anyway, rough crowd. So all right, there you have it. I listen. If I'm saying it was good, by all means, it must have been good. Now, for the next half hour, we're going to talk about something that you guys keep trying to shove down my throat. That I actually took the time, my precious time. I took 45 minutes of my time to watch this. The season premiere of The Orville. I said it. And I'm still getting from you guys that we need to talk about the show more often. And we should review some episodes. So let's talk about the season premiere. Did you both see it?
Yep.
Of course.
Okay. What am I missing, folks? What am I missing? Tell me.
Let's back up a moment. Why do you hate it so much?
Have I not made that clear? Wait a minute. Let me do my Picard. From what was it? The Enemy, when he's talking to Tomalak. If the point has not been made, let me make it again. I don't like, first of all, the fact that Seth MacFarlane, he is a funny guy in doses, but I don't like the fact that his career, the two successes of his career, are based on the IP of other people. I said it. Family Guy, Simpsons. Orville, Star Trek. Okay, there's that. I don't like plagiarism. Yep. I don't like that. Now, clearly it's not plagiarism. Otherwise, he would be, he would be forced to stop doing it. Okay? So then he gets around, well, it's just a parody. F*** out of here.
It is a parody, though.
It is a parody.
I mean, Family Guy is totally a parody of The Simpsons, but I mean...
Well,
and they're on the same network, so I'm sure they're okay with it.
The only way I give you a pass of basing a career on parodies is if your first name is Weird Al and your last name is Jankovic. Moving on.
Now, first of all, it's Yankovic.
Whatever.
Exactly.
You said Jankovic.
Whatever.
He sucks anyway, so that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
But the show is good, man. It's entertaining.
What is good about it?
It's entertaining.
Well,
it shows you...
That's subjective. That's very subjective.
It takes the IP, well, to use your phrase, or it takes the DNA of Star Trek and lightens it up a bit, but it still isn't a full-on slapstick comedy. For instance, the last one was about the Klingon, about the Worf analog, running around on his mate.
What was his name?
I don't even know what Homeskill's name is.
What's that tell you?
I just watched that episode, actually. It was
I know his name
something.
Was Bortus is the guy you're talking about, right? Bortus,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay, Bortus.
Okay, listen. I watched the season premiere, and this is what I got. Even if I were trying to give it a chance, that show was horrible from a production standpoint. It's got multiple storylines that go all over the place. You got, and the main thing that they launch everything off of is the joke that, well, Captain, I only urinate once a year, so we must go back. Okay, that's what you're leading off with? Okay, fine. Then they do the requisite pee jokes. I think the only thing funny. Worse than a pee joke is a fart joke. Okay?
No.
Wait a minute.
You heard
God
me.
Damn it. Fart jokes will always be funny.
Oh my God.
You can take 10 men from, and I'm being gender on this one, gender specific. You can take 10 men from anywhere on the planet, from 10 different locations, put them in a room. They can all speak different languages. One of them will ripple fart, and they will all laugh.
All you've proven is that you've taken 10 men who are idiots from all over the place. That's all you've told me. That's all you told me. Anyone who laughs at a fart joke, I don't want to be associated with. Okay?
The thing I would say to you, Mike, is simply this, right? It's
decaf, man. Decaf.
It is a parody, but it's less of a parody, I think. It's more of a proxy of the Next Generation Star Trek.
I understand.
And if you remember the Next Generation, not every episode was good either. So you have to give it some. You've only watched one episode the entire season, and you hate the show.
But I watched 2 episodes the last season.
Okay, so
you went in hating the show.
Right, but I gave it a chance. I went in hating these Star Trek short treks. This one won me over. I'm open.
I wouldn't call you open.
Well, go ahead.
I would say if you liked the Next Generation, then watch the Orville with that same sit down and think this is the next generation. Then you'll enjoy it.
But Craig, I swear to you, I tried that. I watched the season premiere, and the jokes are just so corny. So either they should, for example, the movie Galaxy Quest.
Yeah,
that worked. It was funny. It was, and that was a parody as well. But
it was, yeah.
But it wasn't great, but it did a lot better than this does. How many times have I seen in comedies where there's a guy, I'm too shy to approach that girl. Oh, well, I'm the hip guy. Come to me. I'll show you how to do it. That's like Louis C.K. doing dick jokes.
Hip guy on this show is a tool. That's the joke. He's not. It's not like Wesley going to Riker, who is a known ladies' man. This guy's going to the knucklehead on the Orville, who is a knucklehead.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying, that situation has appeared so many times, it's very stale. And the whole thing about the captain spying on his ex-girlfriend, I've had moldy bread that was less stale than that.
Come on.
These are the jokes. And
it's not supposed to be. It's got comedy in it, but it's a serious show, right?
I don't know if that's true.
Well, if you watch the second episode, right, they're trying to save people who are about to die on a planet. So that's most of the episodes are like
a hard call on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so yes, there's comedy elements in it, which Star Trek: The Next Generation did not do, but Seth obviously does. But it's good. I loved it. The Bortus episode where he's going into what they call the simulator as opposed to the holodeck, which is the same thing. It was just
what episode is that?
That's the second one in the second season.
Is that the one you're telling me I should watch where they have to eliminate is that the one you're telling me I should watch?
Sure, you should watch it.
Wait a minute. No,
but Mark, you saw it, right? You saw the one with Bortus and he's going... Yeah.
Getting his hollow addiction on,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you want me to watch an alien male have relations with another alien male, and that's the catch?
You're
vastly oversimplifying it.
Guys, I'll put it this way. Okay. If the jokes were funnier, I might have more temperance for this. The jokes I saw in the pilot episode, and the one where he's sitting on an egg, and the one I saw last week, they were corny. The situations were corny, stale. The only situation that was interesting to me was the doctor. What's the doctor's name? Penny Gerald Johnson, I think, is the actress.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know her
name now.
Okay. That was the only situation that struck me that kind of was interesting, and that actually did remind me of TNG, because there was in DS9 you had Jake hanging around Nog, and Cisco was unhappy about that, and in TNG you had Wesley, who was starting to screw up a little bit. Which led up to Journey's End, that episode. But I don't know.
Well, Wesley's a tool.
And here, now, well, we're not going to get into the Wes argument, and I've already told you why he's not.
He is.
He may have been subject to the Catholic priest treatment with the Traveler, but other than that, he's cool. Now,
no, he's not.
Here's another thing. I'm gonna go there. Prepare to be triggered, Big Sexy. There's kind of a little problem with the fact that the two people of color on that episode, or on the show, are the only two who seem to have problems establishing a relationship. You got the woman doctor, who is an African American woman, who I'm told is going to be hooking up with a robot.
Well, that's what some people might think. Lord. It doesn't mean that's going to happen.
First of all,
here we go.
That's speculation.
Yeah, it is.
And we don't. Come to me when it happens. And if it does happen, did not Mr. Data get a little taste in the second season, and then he had a girlfriend a brief girlfriend for one episode later season. In the later season,
You're talking about In Theory, and
There
that
you
was
go.
with, I can't remember her name. She was kind of cute, but she was not a lead cast member, so who cares? That was one of my favorite episodes too. And you're talking about The Naked Now, I think. Yeah, with Tasha
Yes.
Yar. She's dead. Who cares?
wow. And as far as the Klingon analog,
Well, no, he's in a relationship, but he's not technically.
he's married.
But he's not black. He's a Bortus or whatever that. Mocklin. Isn't that what Mocklin?
Wait. In your premise,
Yeah.
you were just harping on people of color.
No,
Is
no,
he not a
the-
person of color?
Not the actors, the characters.
I need a drink.
The character. You telling me a Mocklin is a black person?
I'm just going on what you said.
I said the characters, not the actors. So I
Okay,
don't.
well, who's the other character besides the doctor that you're referring
The
to?
cool hip guy who doesn't have a girlfriend.
Oh, hey, I forgot about him. What kind of problem is he having relationship-wise, other than not having a girlfriend?
I haven't. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? If you're in deep space, you don't have a girlfriend, you got problems. Okay.
Actually, I think you're wrong about
does not
that.
have a girlfriend.
I think he is a player, and he was trying to help his friend get a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
In the episode.
You know, the captain is not getting any.
but
The helmsman ain't getting any.
wait. But as Big Sexy just said, that character, he's a goof anyway. That's what you said, Big Sexy. So,
See, no, I take that back.
you take it.
Wait, whoa. I thought you were talking about the Helms guy with the beard from ER. That's what I thought you were talking about.
No, I said that he goes to the hip guy.
Yeah, and I forgot about him, honestly.
And I thought your
And
point.
again, he's not in a relationship. Why is that problematic?
Because why can't he have a relationship? Why can't he be struggling to find a girl? Why couldn't it have been the other way around? I'm going on my.
Let's
hey,
see.
What?
Let's see. The little strong chick, the little security chick, she doesn't have a man right now.
Someone saw fit to fix her up, though. I mean, the guy was a loser, but
He was.
now, wait a minute. Now, did you guys know that George Costanza himself, Jason Alexander, was playing the bartender?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah,
Ready?
you knew that was Jason Alexander.
Yes.
How did you know?
I'm observant.
Get out of here.
I saw that one of the guest actors was Will Sasser, but I don't know which character he was. I was kept looking out for him.
Will Sasso was I believe that was the guy that was fixed up with the strong girl.
Oh, okay.
But Jason Alexander is the rhino, or whatever, that lizard character behind the bar. Because
Yeah.
I saw Jason Alexander's name show up in the credits, and I was watching the whole show saying, I can't wait for him to come on. And then I was like, where was he? And I rewound, I'm like, no. I'm like, Jason Alexander must be a big Star Trek fan, because he is, but he must be a really big one to do that for that show.
Hmm.
But
Good stuff.
yeah, listen. Okay. I'm not seeing it, guy. And plus the ship. Big Sexy, you talk about the
The
outer
ship is ugly. I'll give you
you
that.
talk about the outer ring of the Discovery being stupid, and I've kind of come around to your way of thinking on that. This ship is the most dumb thing I've ever seen. Who would design this ship to look like that?
No, the ship is hideous. I'll take that all day. I'll give you that.
And maybe it's meant to be hideous and comedic.
I say, the only thing worse than naming a ship the Orville is naming a ship the Milo, which is what we saw on the Star Trek short trek.
Wait. Why is Orville wrong? Because it was named after one of the Wright brothers?
Let me say this again. Orville.
Wright brothers. Flight. That makes sense.
I served on the USS Enterprise. I served on the Defiant. Where'd you serve? The Orville.
That's like looking at NBA teams right now. Who do you play for? I play for the Bulls. What about you? I play for the Warriors. What about you? I play for the Pelicans. There are stupid names everywhere.
Well, so you admit it's a stupid name. That was my point.
It's a stupid name, but I can see where it comes from.
I see where it comes from. All I was saying was the only worse name than the Orville is the DeMilo. which is what the name of the ship was in this Star Trek Short Trek.
Now, see, if I pulled out my list, or the list of Federation ships, I'm sure we can find something stupid.
Well, okay.
Equally stupid.
I can say this, and I don't mean to offend anyone. I'm not crazy with... I'm not crazy... Watch what I do here. I'm not crazy with the USS Crazy Horse, but I see from where it comes.
So I would say to you, I was just, while you guys were talking, looking to see the episode I thought you would enjoy. Watch If Stars Should Appear, season 1 of The Orville.
Okay.
And come back and tell me that doesn't reek of Next Generation storytelling.
What's give me don't spoil it, but give me the synopsis or the premise.
Well, I don't know if I should give it away, but
no, I don't want you to give it. Just tell me what the premise is.
The premise is they come across this massive spaceship that's adrift in space, and they go and investigate. And
I think you told me about this before.
I might have.
And I remember saying it sounds like they're doing a Dyson Sphere type of thing.
Yeah, watch it. Watch it though. It's good. It's episode 4 of season 1.
Episode 4, season 1. Now, if I watch this and I don't like it, we're gonna put. Then
I give up.
We're gonna put it to rest, okay?
Yeah, sure, no problem. We'll put it to rest.
All right. So, all right, we have a little bit of time left in this away mission. I guess I'm gonna have to go back and do some more review on the memory banks if Khan's finished looking through them, and take a look at this. This will be my 4th Orville episode. Okay. Putting that aside, anyone else have anything Star Trek related that might be of interest?
I was trawling YouTube and came across this very, very short video of the actor who plays Captain Pike in Discovery. And he goes on to talk about how he's quite honored to play Pike because we were introduced to Captain Pike in the original series pilot. And the character was played by Jeffrey Hunter, and but we only saw him in that one episode.
Right. And
so he was saying he's really looking forward to telling more of the backstory of Captain Pike. So I found that interesting that they're going to cover some of his backstory. That's cool stuff.
Now, see, what's interesting is I'm sure he is very happy to play Pike because his last series flopped like a lead stone.
What was it?
The Inhumans. Big Sexy, you know that, right? Anson Mount. He played Black Bolt in the god-awful Inhumans. So
I tried on that show, but God, that was bad.
I'm sure he is happy. But what's interesting is that, again, we see the divergence from the Kelvin universe because in the Kelvin universe, one thing I could say positive about that is that they have given us some backstory on that character there in with the movies, as we saw in the first and the second one, I believe. But yeah, I looking forward to seeing his portrayal of Pike. That reminds me. Let me ask you guys this, and this was in the Short Trek as well. The character that walks down the hallway with we see, I think it's a female, and she's walking away from the lens, so we see her back, and she's got this like metallic dome around her head. Has anyone seen what that's about? What is her deal? Anyone know? Is that the same character that was on the Discovery in season 1? You remember there was a character on the bridge. She had like a sort of like a domed, or she had like a helmet on. She wore a helmet with a visor.
I think you're right about that.
I'm wondering, is that a race, or is that the same character who has some sort of defect that she has to wear that?
Maybe she's a member of the Breen.
Well, the Breen don't look like that, do they?
The Breen was rocking these helmets that look like they were taken out of Star Wars.
That's what this looks like.
That could be a Breen.
But it's a different helmet, though, is what I'm saying. The Breen that I know what you're talking about. They had helmets that looked like, again, the character that Princess Leia played in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
But no, this helmet looks nothing like that. This is the only issue I hope that they resolve. Well, two things. and we're getting back to the Star Trek Discovery again, the short treks. I hope they resolve or start to give us some answers about some of the characters on the bridge, because again, what makes Star Trek to me is that I have a family in the bridge members. I know who everyone is. I mean, even you guys with your vaunted discussions of the Orville, you don't know any of the characters' names. There's a reason for that. Yeah, that's right. I said it. And I hope that these short treks don't go unexplained, because that means that it's just all kind of bullshit that they just came up with a script for the week or to produce and never to be seen again. It's got to have some consequences. Wouldn't you agree? All 4 of these short treks. Like, I expect to know who, what was his name? Kraft from Calypso. I want to know why he was adrift. I want to know why the Discovery was adrift for 1,000 years. I want to know who the alien was in The Runaway. You know, I want to learn more about Saru's family. And
I know who the alien is in Runaway.
What's that?
I know who the alien is in Runaway. It just hit me.
Who?
On the first season of DS9, there was a runaway alien, for lack of a better word, called Tusk. And they had the hunter of the Tusk chasing him. It's something like that.
Did you see? You didn't see the first one, did you?
First one, what?
The first short trek.
No.
So you don't know what she looks like, the alien.
No.
Well, so okay, it might not be. It might just be a coincidence.
Whoa! Not knowing what she looks like can actually be helpful, because if you looked at a Klingon on Discovery and said, "Pick the Klingon," they're not going to pick that guy. You put that guy, Worf, and Kang next to each other. Okay, who are Klingons here? Well, I'd say Worf, and Kang. And then look at the third guy like, the f*** is he?
I don't know if I agree with you on that one.
If you weren't told that was a Klingon, you wouldn't know it was a Klingon.
Okay, I'm looking on Memory Alpha again, and Tusk. Let's see. Is this DS9? Yeah, no, this guy looks nothing like... There's no relation at all.
Nah.
There's no relation. But maybe... Who knows, Big Sexy? I'm going to throw you a bone, Big Sexy, okay? Maybe those characters are related in some way because, like the Klingons... Maybe she's like the ridgeless version of the Klingons, and he's the ridge version of the Klingons. It is a stretch among the lines of Plastic Man, or Elongated Man, or Reed Richards. But okay, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you out since you wasted our time with the mud thing. But anyway, no, my bad. That was an honest mistake. But all right, so there you have it, people. I can honestly say the Star Trek short treks, they, what's the word I'm looking for? They redeemed themselves. Because the other 3, Saru's was okay, but it went against Star Trek principles and Starfleet principles. But it was okay. But the other 2, But yeah, this one was very enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry we spoiled it, but I did warn you. But go check it out. A fantastic turn by Rainn Wilson as Harcourt Fenton Mudd. I love saying that name. But all right, unless there's anything else, any other business in my ready room, anything else we need to discuss? Anybody unhappy with the way I'm running this ship?
Yes, there's a mutiny on your hands.
There's a what?
Pulling cards out.
What'd you say? There's a what on my what?
A mutiny on your hand.
Oh, okay.
Take it over.
Next
episode.
Right. Speaking of next episode, what do you think we should talk about next episode? Should we do another episode review of a TOS? We don't talk about TOS that often, do we? Should we do
I have the idea.
What's that?
This is genius.
Here we go.
This is genius. We're going to call it Below Decks or Lower Decks, which means we're going to talk about characters from across all of the shows who aren't the upper echelon featured players, i.e., from the original series, we can talk about Uhura, Chekhov, and Sulu. DS9, O'Brien. There you go, right there.
O'Brien? I think O'Brien gets lots of shine.
But he's not upper deck. We can say O'Brien is the Doctor. Wait. wait. He's always in engineering. The Doctor, who I hate. Or
which doctor? Which doctor?
On DS9. I can't stand Bashir.
He is
Cannot
annoying.
stand him.
He is kind of annoying. I'll give you that.
On Next Generation.
Okay, well, Mark, Big Sec, don't give away the whole ship. Jesus.
Oh, sorry.
You know what a teaser is, right?
I'm not saying it.
But by the way, if you want to talk about doctors you can't stand, Bashir is like God compared to Phlox. So don't talk to me about
Phlox is the worst.
Don't talk to me about doctors you can't understand, and then Bashir comes out your mouth when you got Phlox standing in the grounds there.
Phlox is the worst.
All right, there you go, people. There you have it. Listen, this one was a little shorter, but you know, when they give me something that's excellent, it doesn't take that much time to break it apart. I don't have much to break apart. So this was an excellent episode. I can't wait for the season to start. Do we have a start date? Is it January 17th?
Yeah, next week or 2 weeks.
Next 2 weeks. Big Sexy, are you going to get CBS All Access to watch the show so we have something to talk about?
I'm going to see the show.
Oh, here we go.
Did I not see them last season? Yes, I did.
So that means Big Tony's getting a call this time.
Did I? Look, let's put it this way. Let's turn it around.
Yeah.
If CBS All Access was actually what they promised to be, I'd be the first one in line to pay them. But they are not. They are a fraud. They are charlatans.
Wow. Listen, you got Star Trek fans that are putting on Klingon headpieces, getting dressed in heavy, plastic, hot, non-breathing cosplay uniforms, this and that. If they can suffer through that, you can suffer through spending $5 a month so that you can comment on Star Trek Discovery. There, I said it.
I repeat, this is not a Star Trek issue. This is a CBS All Access issue, and them, baiting and switching. All access means all access. Hey, let's go watch Dallas on CBS All Access. Oh, yeah, we can't.
Well, you're a Star Trek fan. You would be willing to spend the $6 just on Star Trek alone.
That's right.
And the cat agrees with me, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, Big Sexy is going to Big Sexy no matter how you cut it. All right. So, and he's the wealthiest of all of us here.
Really?
I shop at Men's Warehouse, remember?
My condolences.
Anyway. All right, so please check us out, people. You can check us out on iTunes. Go to Red Shirts, a Star Trek podcast. Subscribe and leave us comments. Even if you don't like us, and why wouldn't you? Leave a comment. Check us out on Facebook. Red Shirts, a Star Trek podcast. I'm putting stuff up there at least once a week, if not every other day. Check us out on Twitter. I always got something to say on Twitter. You can check us out on Twitter at RedShirt1701. And check us out on Instagram. I'm putting stuff up there all the time on Instagram. You can check us there. I think it's RedShirt1701 there as well. Just go to the internet. Go on your Googles. Type in Red Shirts, a Star Trek podcast. All kinds of stuff will come up. All right. And with that, we're going to go to Warp 9. I got to go back to quarters. I got to get my Earl Grey hot. Earl Grey. I might go English breakfast this time. But, I mean, as I'm watching the Orville, if by the second act it hasn't gotten any better, I might just get a bullet or a phaser and set it to kill and point it at myself. All right, with that, we are out of here. Till next time, peace.
Bye. So angry.
Trouble with Tribbles. Let's see.
Don't test me.
Okay, I want to get 10 more minutes because I like to do at least an hour.
I thought you'd be editing a hell of a lot of the show out, actually.
Really?
Because we went on this whole searching on the internet to see if Harry Mudd was in trouble with Tribbles. I'm sure people don't want to hear that.
Oh, that's good stuff because they're saying these idiots.
Nah.
I'm keeping it in.
Oh no! That they can now tell in Discovery. So he was excited to play Captain Pike in Discovery. Oh. Alrighty then.
What do we have
Alright.
there?
Sorry about that.
Hey, no red tube on this show.
That was Journey.
All right. Well, it sounded like a wild scene, man.
That's for sure.
Hervey Perverson over here. Upcoming on our next episode, we're going to talk about some classic multi-part episodes from the Trek canon. Stay tuned.
But we already did that.
We're doing it again.
We did a whole show about two-parters.
Then we'll do a show about 3-parters. How about that?
Come on, man. Speaking of next episode, what do you think we should talk about next episode? Pick up. Why can't I talk? But all right, people, there you have it. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe I'm hungry. Red Shirts is not endorsed by Paramount Pictures, Viacom, or CBS. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Star Trek, the Star Trek logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Star Trek characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.